42-35, the final score for the 2014 Territorial Cup. The Arizona Wildcats come away the victors and will have the cup for the next year, the first time in 3 years. Chris Cartman of ASUDevils.com, Jared Cohen, Sports 360 AZ. Starting the ASU side of things first, Chris. Injuries, missed opportunities really set them back, and they had to play from behind basically for the entire game.
Yeah, really a smorgasbord of bad things that happened for ASU. The Taylor Kelly strip fumble for 6 points at the start of the game kind of put them in a bad situation. Then they had their quarterback of their defense, Lio Mokiola, went out at the end of the first half with an ankle injury, left ankle. He missed the UCLA game, and that was a catastrophe for ASU. And they've had problems whenever he's been out of the game, and second half was again a bad performance. They lost their center, Nick Kelly, who started the whole season, to an injury.
And that was during a goal line stand that they didn't convert.
Right, and they learned just before the game that one of their starting safeties and leading tacklers, Jordan Simone, wasn't going to play. I think all those things kind of combined put ASU in a bad situation.
And part of the game, a big story within the game, is finally Taylor Kelly was pulled from the game in the third quarter, and Berkovici came in, and it was a different situation, a different scenario for them both, but they both were comparable if you look them at the stat sheet.
Yeah, well, ASU was throwing the ball a lot more. What Todd Graham and Mike Norvell said afterwards is because they were behind, Berkovici's got a better arm. He's more of a vertical passer. They decided to go with him down 2 touchdowns. I think that makes sense. He's definitely a better pocket passer, and that's kind of what they needed at that point in time as opposed to the read option game and more of a balanced attack. So I thought that was fine. He played okay. He had some really nice throws, also had an interception, some balls that weren't that accurate. But for being cold and being thrown into the situation, having not played a lot of late, he did a pretty good job.
Going to the U of A side of the thing right now, you look at 2 players on both sides of the ball. First on defense, Scooby Wright was an absolute monster in this game, kind of like he has been all year, but this game especially.
He's incredible. In the first half alone, he had 9 tackles, 4 for loss. He had the strip on Kelly, which was tremendous, which was a touchdown. You have to scheme specifically for Wright if you're an opposing offense. If you run stretch plays laterally, he just reads in and attacks. If it's a zone read, he's getting downhill and making a tackle for loss. He's even good in the pass. So he's the best linebacker, I think, in the Pac-12, bar none.
And then Nick Wilson on the offensive side of the ball. Kadeem Carey gone. Wilson has stepped in and done a tremendous job, and he had the big play to create that separation in the third quarter on that 72-yard run.
He breaks tackles as well as anybody that we've seen in the Pac-12 this year. He's very shifty and hard to hit on center. I think he's sneaky fast. You saw it really in person, a little bit different than it captures your eye on film. There were some big play breakdowns by ASU, though. Demarius Randall on the 4th down and 21-yard touchdown run was, that was his fault. Just wasn't where he needed to be, and that enabled some of their success. But no doubt, he was a tremendous running back today.
It's interesting you mentioned that. After the game, they talked about the fact that was a designed inside run. He had the vision to bounce outside when he saw Randall, and that led to the 21-yard score. U of A now playing in the Pac-12 championship game. They face Oregon next week. But for ASU, now a bowl game awaits. Who's the quarterback going to be first? Yeah. And second, what are the bowls that are lining up for them?
So Graham said that they're going to be going with Taylor Kelly in the bowl game. There's 2 schools of thought. Do you get ready for next season, or do you give the senior who's helped you average 9 wins over a 3-year period, be your guy? I personally feel like Taylor Kelly is probably the right move. Maybe both of them will play. And it looks like ASU best case scenario would be in the Holiday Bowl. Worst case scenario, maybe the Foster Farms Bowl, depending upon how things fall ahead of them.
So that's it. Final score again, 42-35. Arizona knocks off Arizona State, and the Wildcats will look to get their first ever Pac-12 championship in a game against Oregon next week. Chris Cartman, ASUDevils.com. Jared Cohen, Sports 360 AZ.